Hey there everyone, this is Jeff Perkins with JD Cutlery doing a quick review on the WingMan / GTC ASA. This is a collaboration between WingMan EDC and GTC. Gustavo is the custom designer on it. His last name is spelled Ceccchini. I'm not gonna say it because I'm sure I'd pronounce it wrong, but that is how you spell it. For those of you that watch some of the higher end knives, GTC knives are fantastically designed, just beautiful pieces of art. Most of them are ground in pretty much the same basic style. This knife definitely is in the style of GTC, and of course is made at a much more affordable price range. The average Joe definitely can't pick up a GTC, with them being in the excess of 3,000 and up, depending on what you see. So definitely the most affordable way to get yourself a GTC designed knife at this point is with WingMan EDC. Of course, ZT did their collaboration a couple years back, but that one is no longer available. And honestly, this one is not really available anymore either. I do know that they sold out very quickly with most of the dealers that had them. I had the opportunity to pick up one at dealer cost and definitely jumped at it because I really liked the look and design of the knife. Always been a fan of GTC designs, and this one's done very nicely. Definitely an affordable version. I haven't put the lanyard on it yet, but of course there's your spot for the lanyard. Taking a look at it, definitely a very, very cool looking knife. Let me go ahead and hit the overall specs real quick. The knife does utilize the Lee Williams kickstop flipper mechanism, and that is a pretty neat mechanism in the fact that when she's open, you don't see that flipper. It folds up inside the knife, and then when it's closed, the flipper is exposed, so of course you can flip the blade out. Overall length is 7.5 inches. Blade length is 3.125 inches. Blade steel is the CPM S90V. It does have, of course, titanium handles with zirconium inserts on top of it, as well as the proprietary hardware of WingMan EDC. They do give you the tool for that hardware, but I must say, be incredibly careful taking these knives apart. If you're a person that takes it apart, you've got 3 little prongs and that little screw in the back end, and it's very easy to have those pop out and for you to do good damage to your knife. So just be incredibly careful. It's a little bomb-shaped tool. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it back up. It's down in the workshop currently. But they do provide the tool so you can take it apart. Overall weight on this one is 4.5 inches, and it does run on ceramic bearings. And that's pretty much the main specs on the knife. Overall, as you get the knife in hand, it's very comfortable. Pretty ergonomic, fits in the hand nicely. So I got all kinds of fingerprints on it from working on it. I went with a high voltage blue and did a stone wash, and then I went ahead and redid the zirconium. When it came with it, there were heavy lines in the zirconium, and I didn't really like the look of it. Unfortunately, I did sand it a little bit more than I should have in a couple spots, so you can feel the edge where the zirconium meets the titanium here. Back through here, it's all pretty much flush. Might be able to feel it a tad bit right here. And then on this side, Of course, the lock bar, you're totally going to be able to feel it just because the lock bar is going to be able to go in and out. And you can feel that edge where the zirconium and the titanium meet all the way across the top. That is because I sanded it down and then I went ahead and retreated it to give it a much more satin look. That isn't an imperfection in the machining of the knife. I actually did that to the zirconium. So just be aware if you're interested in this knife, there is a little bit of a ledge there. It's not anything that's gonna hurt your hand or anything like that. It just, if you're a total fanatic about everything being totally smooth and perfectly matching up, this one probably wouldn't be the knife for you. So that being said, that was my issue, and of course I said I did that. The only issue I personally have with the knife is you're looking at a $475 knife, and you are looking at a titanium on steel lockup situation. It has been carbonized, it doesn't stick, it's nice and smooth. Just my opinion, you're paying $475 for a knife, you should have a steel lock bar insert in there. Most of the manufacturers have gone there. I do understand it's more work with the machining and that type of thing, and they were trying to keep this thing as cost effective as possible. But at the $475 price point, I would expect to see a steel lock bar insert in there. Here's a close-up shot on the hardware. And the tool only works on one side. Of course, you only have one tool, so it should only work on one side, but it seemed to be a little bit less shallow on one side than the other. Then the little tiny screws work on the back end of that tool, and they worked just fine. But like I said, you gotta be incredibly careful as you take these knives apart because it's very easy to slip with that tool. I did go ahead and satin finish the lines that offset the zirconium, just to give it that nice appearance. Satin finished the pocket clip as well as polishing the edges of the pocket clip and the back spacer, and really gives it an overall very nice feel. And a nice appearance. So that part I'm all very happy with. The back spacer has got the lines kind of ground into it, as well as this little U-shaped cut so you can see through the knife. Kind of nice that it opens it up. The texture back here really isn't beneficial in any way. It doesn't grab your thumb or anything like that. It doesn't stick up enough that that would be the case. But definitely adds to the aesthetics of the knife. So that flipper mechanism, as I said, it pops up when you have it closed, and then it folds down inside. So you can see it kind of moves around up here. As you close it, it pops out and it's firm. There's no give there or anything like that. And then it totally disappears as it goes into the handle. So that's definitely a very neat design. It's nice to hide that flipper. It really gives it a much cleaner look. They did do a nice job of putting the screws on the back side or the inside of the handle for the pocket clip, so that gives you a cleaner look, as well as the screws for the zirconium being on the back side or the inside of the knife as well. Little cutouts here are again just aesthetics, but definitely adds to the overall look. And I really do like the look of the satin finished zirconium. I had not worked on much zirconium, did a little bit of research. Everybody was talking about blackening it. I did not realize that it colors just like titanium. As you heat it up, it goes through all of those different colors that you see with titanium. So that was kind of cool. As I was heating it up, it ran through a bunch of different colors. I will say that if I had a few more of these, I would definitely go ahead and make those zirconium inserts different colors to just give it a little bit different appeal and make it a little bit different than everything else that's out there. Overall, definitely very happy with the knife. Very streamlined, smooth, fits in the pocket nicely. Lockup is nice and early, which is very important if you've got a titanium on steel interface. The blade centering is interesting on this. It looks like it's closer to this side, but when you tip it up and you look at that backspacer, it is definitely centered in the way it's supposed to be. So when you look down at it, it does look like it's a little bit more to this side, but again, when you pop that sucker and look at it on end, you can see that blade is centered in very nicely. There's your WingMan logo, and then of course your kickstop logo, and the knife itself says GTC on the handle. Not to mention the fact that you look at that knife and you know it's a GTC design knife just by looking at it. So if you're interested in picking this one up, I do have this one available. Again, like I said, be aware that you can feel some of the spots where the zirconium matches up to the titanium. Just be aware that that is how this particular one is. And again, if you're interested, check us out on the website, www.jdcutlery.com. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.